responsible in the language that is used, but also in indicating that he may well opt for a military option.
Well, Andrew, the 1990s taught us a clear and incontrovertible lesson that rogue regimes allowed to go on unchecked and unchallenged ultimately threaten global peace and security. Australia will work with our allies in the area, in the region, being South Korea and Japan, and the United States, to bring this situation under control. The fact of the matter is that, as Christopher Pine has said, this is a dangerous and uncertain situation that we have. The best solution to this is diplomatic, as Lee has pointed out, and China needs to do more to help the global community bring that diplomatic solution to coming about.
At the same time, though, Jason, I mean, we just had a guest in, Leonid Petrov, who basically painted this horrible picture of, this will all come to a particular head, and China will perhaps at some point actually have to defend North Korea as well. Australia is trying to, shall we say, partner up with China in terms of business, economy, and whatever. At the same time, politically, we are partners with the US. At some point, Australia is going to have to pick a side.
Yeah, so the side that we have picked for 7 decades now is a global regime of international laws. North Korea is operating outside that global regime of international laws. It is important for global peace and security that they are brought back into that system. To the extent that China can bring pressure to bear, and they are the nation best placed to do that, is an important and critical solution and the best path forward for a diplomatic solution.
I would argue that we don't have to pick sides. Like, really, we need an independent foreign policy. This is the time when Australia needs to renegotiate our relationship with the United States. Rather than occupying that space of deputy sheriff in this region, we need to be out there working for peace. Remember that conflict and war just brings terrible harm to people, and that should be the start of our foreign policy position. Not where we're going.
Lee, do you have faith in the Chinese leadership that they can broker peace?
Oh, look, that's a hard one for me to answer. I'm not in any of those talks. But listening to the Foreign Minister and the President in the past couple of days, they're obviously worried. I'm sure whatever their political intent, they don't want a nuclear war or conflict on their doorstep. And they're the ones who would also suffer. So I'm hoping at least self-interest will drive some good outcomes here. But from Australia's point of view, the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition should be out there today really trying to de-escalate the current conversation.
Do you feel as though Donald Trump has signalled his intentions now, given what he did in Afghanistan, having dropped that bomb, and also what he did previously in Syria, of course?
Oh, very much so. My worry in how that's played out in the past week is that what President Trump is found is that he can change the narrative in his favour by dropping another bomb. Now, that's really effectively what he did using Afghanistan in that way of saying, well, here I am, I'm fighting ISIS. You get some good commentary about it. He's very unpredictable, he's very unreliable, and we shouldn't be saddling ourselves up so closely to him.
Jason, are you at all perturbed by his course of action to this date?
Well, no, actually, because I think that what we have, the Assad regime or most serious commentators and analysts say that the Assad regime used chemical weapons on innocent men, women and children in its own country.
That's not confirmed, Jason.
International conventions and law.
It was a dump of Gaddafi's old stuff,
that you will no longer be allowed to use chemical
rebel
weapons
forces blew it up with bombs
impunity. We
from
have
above
a choice
in
here.
aeroplanes.
We can either live in a world of international laws where there are global consequences to breaching those laws, or we can go back.
Jason Falinski, now the Foreign Minister, is he? Speaks for Julie Bishop and also for Maurice Payne, his mate.
For the last 7 decades, by and large, enjoyed unprecedented
Where's
global
Maurice
peace
Payne?
and security.
Where's Julie
We have a
Bishop?
choice that we can
Off on
continue
holidays
in
for the Easter
that
weekend,
vein,
are we?
And the people, there are consequences.
One of
when
your
people
factional
go
mates
back.
That was from an
talking?
Australian perspective.
On international matters on Channel 2? Hello?
That is, when you look at all
The nobody
international
member for
measurements
McKellar?
of conflict has been reducing year on year since the Second World War. That is because we have, at this point in time, a global regime of laws. and we insist that people operate within those laws.
Yeah, what I'm saying is...
The Greens and Lee opposed the Second Iraq War because it was done without the authority of the United Nations.